Hi friends, welcome to Concepts of Geology online classes. Till date, we have done 5 classes in the series of Economic Geology, and till the last class, we have completed module 2, that was the morphology of ore deposit. In this class, we are going to discuss about the texture, that is the grain to grain relationship of ore and gangue minerals. Okay, so on the syllabus, we have covered module 2 and module 1. Okay, and today we are going to start module 3, that is the texture and structure of the ore bodies in meso and megascopic scale. So let's start. Before starting, look, here we are using 3 terms, okay, morphology, structure and texture. So first, we should know how they differ. We have learned the term morphology is used to describe appearance of a body in a huge scale. For example, in field view or in panoramic view, that is in kilometer scale. On the other hand, structure is applied for a larger scale view. For example, suppose in tens of meter in outcrop scale or often in even hand specimen scale. Okay, so this is in tens of meter. Now mind it, this is a larger scale view than the previous one. We often possess a misconception on this. Remember, more I zoom on the picture, the scale becomes larger. So the reference factor 1:100 is larger scale map than one having 1:1000. The last one is the texture. Texture is observed in hand specimen and also under microscope. So all these terms describe the appearance of the rock but in different scales. The analysis of texture of ore, that is the spatial relationship between grains, is very important because it reveals the origin and post-depositional history of the ore body. Some textures are so characteristic that they often help in identification of the ore minerals. For example, pyrite and magnetite readily show equivalent euhedral shape, which makes them easily identifiable. Okay, so now let's move to the texture. This is the grain to grain relationship in a rock. Okay, mutual relationship among the grains. We will discuss the texture in 2 heads. The first one is the primary texture. Okay, first one is primary and the second one is secondary. Primary textures are those which formed at the time of the formation of the mineral grain, but often they do not remain preserved in the rock as they can be wiped out by crystallization or suppose deformation. Okay, formed with the formation of grains, and when they are modified by recrystallization or suppose deformation, they are called secondary texture. Okay, so secondary textures are modified primary texture. In today's class, we will complete the primary textures and secondary textures will be covered in the next class. So let's move to the primary textures first. As primary textures are forming with the formation of the rock or the grains or the minerals of the rock, so they are always linked with a liquid phase which is transforming into a solid. Okay, 2 types of liquid may be the origin here. One is the molten magma, which produces igneous rock after solidification, and the other one is aqueous solution. The aqueous solution may be a residue of magma after significant crystallization. We know with sequential separation of crystals, the residual magma become concentrated in the volatile elements and eventually become a solution enriched in water. Another source of aqueous solution may be the percolating water into the deep crust of earth, mainly in the ocean floor through the fractures. This water becomes hot and when exhumes, this contain ore-forming minerals. These both types of solutions are called hydrothermal solutions. Firstly, we are coming to the primary texture resulting from the cooling directly from molten magma. Okay, the refractory ore minerals such as chromite, magnetite, ilmenite, platinum group of minerals, they first start to crystallize at a very high temperature before the silicate minerals, even before the olivine pyroxene, etc. So they get enough space to grow. Okay, this results in formation of equivalent euhedral grains. Okay, number one texture is euhedral or equivalent grains. Why they are forming? Because they are getting enough space to crystallize. After their formation, if the temperature falls rapidly, then silicate minerals begin to crystallize or solidify as glass, where the early formed oxide ores get trapped as inclusion. This is called a poikilotic texture. Okay, so poikilotic one is the second. Okay, so this formed due to rapid crystallization. This is what? This is a large grain of silicate mineral. Okay, suppose like that, in which the early form oxide minerals are getting trapped as inclusion. Fine. This is called poikilotic texture. You have heard this term in igneous petrology, remember. Now, during this hurry of the crystallization or the solidification of the host phase, that is the silicate, this may show a optical continuity and the guest oxide phase become sparse. Okay, this extreme poikilotic growth is called skeletal texture. Okay, the same like you have heard in igneous petrology again. So this is skeletal. This forms during the hurry of the crystallization of the silicate phase, which is showing an optical continuity. Okay, so this is suppose the grain of the silicate mineral, and these are the host of ore oxide minerals. Okay, suppose these are just like poikilotic texture, but here the silicate phase is showing an optical continuity. So this extreme poikilotic growth may result in skeletal texture. The second primary textures originated from the precipitation of ore minerals from aqueous solution in open space. So the molten magma portion is over and we are moving towards the aqueous solution. Okay. So this open space may be suppose a solution cavity in limestone or a fracture or a fault, or during the inversion like dolomitization, when calcite changes into dolomite, then also some extra spaces created as dolomite takes less space than the calcite. When a hot mineralized fluid travels through this open space, ore minerals may be deposited. Okay, so the second point is aqueous solution, deposition in open space. Okay, now see here also we are getting euhedral crystals with well developed faces. Okay, as here also the growth is unobstructed. So first texture is the euhedral grains. That means the grains are having, the minerals are having well developed crystal faces. Suppose this one or suppose this one. The second structure is very interesting, which is called a comb structure. Okay, this is very common in hydrothermal deposit where the minerals grow outward from the fracture wall and show a dog teeth or a comb like appearance. Okay, so outward projected growths of early formed euhedral grains. Okay, so projected dog tooth like arrangement. Suppose the appearance may look like this. Like this. Okay. The next texture is called growth zoning or coliform banding. Growth zoning. This is where we found concentric bands around the fast form mineral nucleus. Okay. So this is concentric bands of ore mineral in a fast form nucleus. This may look like, suppose this is the nucleus, early one formed, okay, and then the concentric bands will appear. The bands may be of same composition or may be different in chemistry because of gradual change of the parent fluid composition with the continuous deposition, just like in the concept of fractional crystallization. Okay, you may have seen this on the agate or sphalerite. Example is agate. The another one texture is called brecciated ore, okay, where we found a successive deposition of ore minerals on breccia fragments of the wall rock. Okay, so third one is the breccia ore. This is successive deposition of ore minerals on breccia fragments of wall rock. So this will look like just similar like this growth zoning, but the nucleus here is the brecciated fragment of the wall rock. Okay, this fragment of wall rock may be formed due to injection of ore fluid or due to some tectonic forces like faulting, etc. Now the last textures which will come is crustiform vein. Okay, here we see the rhythmic banding of sequentially deposited minerals which is symmetrical along a central line of the fracture or the vein. Okay, so this is rhythmic banding of sequentially deposited minerals. Okay, suppose this will look like this is the fracture. Rhythmic bands are developing like this. Suppose these are compositionally same, A, and A, and the rest are called, suppose, B. Okay, so if you see it, this is symmetrical along the central line of the fracture or the vein. Okay, now understand, from these veins we can establish a depositional sequence of the minerals which is called paragenetic sequence. We know for deposition we need a surface, although during the formation of these veins our intuition says the band which is attached to the wall rock is formed first, okay, and the central band forms at the last. But this is not the case always. The opposite is also common. There are different types of veins. We will learn those on the class of paragenesis. Okay, so these were some common primary textures. Let us summarize the class in a single picture. Fine, I will not stretch the class more today. In the next video, we will study the secondary textures. Please be with me, share and subscribe the channel. Press the bell icon for get notification while I am uploading a new video. Okay, write your views on the comment box or through email. Okay, goodbye. Thank you for watching.